Welcome again to another edition of Playmakers, a show that's brought to you in part with the Just Run the Play company and also Riverport Creative Group. Playmakers, as all of you may already know, is a showcase that allows us here at the studio to bring in people throughout our community that is doing major things, not only just here in Monroe and West Monroe, but actually throughout the region. And today, we're excited to have a true playmaker doing major things in the world of education, doing major things in the community. I have none other than Miss Tiffany Jackson with ULM as the program director and coordinator for the Teach Project. Tell us a little bit, Tiffany, about what you got going on in the world of education.
World of education, large world. Well, thank you so much for the introduction.
Oh.
All right. Well, it's a Teach Project. And first, let me just kind of explain what it is.
Yeah. It's your show.
All right, then. ULM has a Master of Arts in Teaching program. We've had that probably for the last, I'd say, 15 years. Okay. And that is a program that allows people that have a bachelor's in some other area other than education to come back and receive not only certification so that they can teach in either elementary or secondary, but also receive a Master of Arts in Teaching. In 2011, we wrote a grant for $4 million from the Transition to Teaching program with the Department of Ed in Washington, D.C. And so what that has allowed us to do is to focus on some key areas to make sure that we're able to staff some high needs areas in school districts that are surrounding ULM. And it reaches far and wide. We've gotten up now to over 20 districts that we're partnering with. And they're not just around our service area anymore. As a matter of fact, they're down in South Louisiana. Okay. And so we have grown immensely over this last 5 years. And over the 5-year period, as I said before, we've added districts, which means we're adding new teachers, and we're able to affect more and more students in more classrooms throughout the state.
So now, a lot of people may not know, I was a participant or a
one graduate of our shining stars.
of the Teach program, and I had the opportunity to come through within 2012, 2013. So Tiffany, she's been very influential in my journey through education. So that's another reason why I'm glad to have her here with us, because I knew the importance of what you were trying to do and what the project was trying to do. And I think, for you to say even the districts that y'all covered, I remember when I got in, we were sort of real tight around the Monroe, West Monroe sort of area, maybe out in Bastrop. But to know that, over the past, 3 or 4 years, you've been a part of that growth is major, because I know the importance of having the right kind of people, in the schools, especially high need schools. Exactly. Talk to us a little bit about, like I say, I went through the project and the program, and it did a lot for me. Just learning about myself and just learning about some of the kids that we deal with. How important is it to get the right kind of people in the schools that we're talking about, these high needs, high risk, and tell us a little bit about that, and then also tell us, what it would take for somebody who may be watching to get involved in this program.
Well, I think this is a perfect place and time for us to talk about getting the right people there, because we look at what you're doing right now in the community and how you have expanded your reach beyond the classroom. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about the right people in the classroom. It is immensely important that we get the right people, because one of the things that we find, this is our second grant that we've had through Transition to Teaching. And some of the same areas are still considered high needs areas, because we might get teachers into that area, but they may not stay. And I don't mean just our program, but these districts are having a difficult time getting people to not only come there, but they're having a difficult time to get them to stay. And so what you said is immensely important, because we're looking for people that are not just looking for a job. They're not just looking for something to do with this degree. If they can't find a job in their degree, in their field, well, maybe I'll teach. But we're really looking for those people, such as yourself, that realize that, I graduated in this particular field, and that might have been my first thought as far as what I was going to do with that degree. But I realize now what I was meant to do, what I was created to do, was to actually utilize not only this skill in a content area, and yours was science, but also my desire to be a community revitalizer, my desire to give to my community and to actually make a difference in these areas, in these communities, and become a part of the community, not just go in and work and leave, but to go and become an intricate part of that community, and then not only to change the lives inside the classroom, but to be a part of the community in such a way that you can influence the children beyond the bell. And so that is a huge thing. That is, my belief as an educator is that you're not just a teacher, but you're an educator. And as an educator, you've got to be a mentor. You've got to be a person that sees that you have not only the knowledge to impart to a child, but then you also have some wisdom along with that children need, not only in the high needs districts, but in every school and in every classroom. They need a person that has life's wisdom to share with them, and that is willing to do that, knowing that a lot of times it's a sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
A lot of times it's hard work.
Yes, it is.
And it's not for the best pay. So when we're looking for people, we get people from STEM areas that have backgrounds in science, in engineering and mathematics, and even in technological fields, from industry around our area, and then also throughout the state. We've got a lot of people that have had backgrounds in that and came as mid-career changers. Then we have those people that are, recent graduates, and they just graduated in the field, and then realized, I was adverse to actually going into education because of all the things I'd heard and seen. But I realized that's really what I want to do, and it's a second chance for them. Those that come from careers, they have an opportunity to see, firsthand how important education really is, because they're out there in the field. And they may be working with people that have a lot of talent, and they have a lot of potential, but they lack that education to prepare them really for that field. So a lot of times they'll be, in managerial positions, and they see a person who really is not prepared to move forward, and they realize it's because way back when in high school they missed some things.
In education.
Right.
Now, a lot of people who's had the opportunity to read my book, they know my transition from being in sales, running a business in that area, and then the opportunity to come and to be able to teach, and then having to get into the teach project. So that's my story. But let's say, for instance, we got Joe Smith. He's watching right now, and he started thinking, I know there's something bigger to what I'm doing than just me, and want to get involved. What are the steps that they would need to take to get in contact with you? How would they go about doing it?
Well, the first thing, as far as my contact information, they can contact me directly at T, as in Tiffany T. Jackson, all one word, at ulm.edu. And they just simply could just send out a request for more information, and that's my email. Or if they would like to just go find out more information about the program themselves, they can go to ulm.edu /teach, T-E-A-C-H. So that's where they could start. Sometimes a person, before you actually talk to a person, sometimes people like to get a little bit more information.
Read a little bit.
To see if they're, it's something they think they're really interested in, or they're qualified for, and that's where they could really see, some of the prerequisites. What do we expect? Basically, if you have a bachelor's in an area other than education, and you are interested in impacting the life of a child, and you know you've got 14 to 19 months to dedicate to the coursework that goes along with it. One of the other things is that ours is completely online, and I have to be honest with people. I am not the recruiter. I am the person that's trying to place the best teacher, the most qualified teacher in front of that child, so they can have the best opportunity for equity in education. Our program's not for everyone, because some people don't like to work on the computer. They don't like to take online classes.
It's 100%.
It's 100% online. All of the coursework is online. We have face-to-face opportunities that allow students to give, to get access to children so they can practice what we're teaching them. But everything all the coursework is online, and that's not for everybody.
It's not.
So I want to make sure that that's put out there. It is completely online. So looking at those types of things, if you feel like that's something that's for you, and you have the bachelor's, you want more information, I would encourage anyone that really thinks, I either am in the community working in some other field, I'm preparing to make a transition, or I just got out, I just graduated, and something I'm really feeling like I have a passion for, but I'm not sure if it's for me. I would encourage them to reach out to me and to contact me that way. past that, there are just a few tests that you will have to take. Our main thing is to make sure that once the students are able to find a position to do an internship, that they have proven to themselves and to us that they have the content knowledge so that they can be that person that is prepared academically to stand before the children. And then we make sure that we're preparing them, so we give them what we call pedagogy, how to teach what you know.
Yes.
And that's where the support really comes in.
Yeah, now that was a word I didn't know until I got into it.
Yeah.
What's up? But hey, now that I know,
now you know.
I've been around almost 5 years now, so and I think that going through the process that I went through and the program, and I'm sure that it's only getting better, better and better, and so we appreciate that. So the information, you should see that on the bottom of the screen. If you're interested in finding out more about that, please get in touch with Ms. Jackson, and she will get you in the right direction. Like she said, she's not the recruiter, but she definitely knows who to link you up with to get the right information. Now we're getting ready to wrap up, and what I really want to talk about before we close is, you know, we joked about it a couple of times before. Tiffany, she has her own shirt. Now I got on the Play 5 shirt that talks about writing a vision. Right. But Tiffany saw all of the plays, and she said that Play 10 was her play. She lived by Play 10, which talks about, in the book, we talk about the importance of bringing people along with you and trying to almost like build that bridge so people can follow along with you. Let's talk about that just for a minute before we get ready to leave and close up on why is that play so important to you, and how has it influenced some of the things you've done in your career and even just in your life.
Okay. First of all, thanks for the customized tee.
That's
I didn't realize that one. I didn't realize that one wasn't out yet. I was like, oh, this is the one that I really want to wear.
She has a one-of-one.
And I've worn it. Proudly. Wow. To me, that is really my story, I think. I honestly, when I first went in my undergrad, I was not an education major. I was a biology pre-med major.
Oh, yeah.
And I really had other thoughts. And like many of my candidates, it's because I really didn't see the glamour, and I didn't see, the support and all that around education. Even though it's something I always knew I kind of wanted to do, I thought, I can do this other thing, and it will get me a little bit more attention, a little more money, being honest, all of those types of things. But I'm so grateful that I did have a mentor that was able to help me see that it was best for me to do the thing that I was made to do, and that I was equipped to do best. And I would be more grateful and happy and successful doing that than chasing somebody else's dream. So the take someone along with you starts because I've had so many mentors along the way, starting from that first moment when I decided to change my major as an undergrad, and then going into my, my first opportunity as a teacher right here in West Monroe. I started off at Highland Elementary, teaching elementary school. Yeah. And so from that point on, I've always had people that were there. And, educators are famous for that. They are always willing to take someone's hand and show them the way. New teachers know that very well. You can't become a master teacher if you don't have a master teacher that's showing you what to do. And so that's really why that play became important to me early on. I had a desire to improve my practice. I had a desire to impact children's lives. I had a desire to widen that impact. And it was other people helping me along the way that helped me to move from being that elementary teacher. Then I moved over into an area where I was able to help start a child development center, be the first director there, had a chance to work in administration for elementary. I segued into middle school and then became a literacy coach. And, all of those plays, those along the way, a person might look and say, well, that's, a kind of different route to take. But honestly, I believe that route was created for me because one of the other things that you talk about is, assisting someone else. I always had a desire to do what I was supposed to be doing at that moment, not just, continue. I'm here, I'll stay here for 25 years. I've never been that kind of person. Because I wanted to grow, because I wanted to impact more people, I've always kind of sought, the place where I needed to be. My first principal used these words when I told her I wanted to leave and go and teach in another area. She said, well, I understand, because you shouldn't take the water to the ocean, you should take it to the desert. And I wanted to go in an area where there was higher need.
That's a big word.
Yeah, so, this was a woman who was losing a teacher, but she
Yeah.
gave me that advice. So that to me was taking someone with you. And she was supporting the vision I had for myself. I supported other people's visions.
Yes.
And as I did that, I didn't realize along the way I was adding to my repertoire, adding to my skill set to prepare me for the next thing. It was always that way. I go do this. This is what I think I should do. Why am I here? Well, then I didn't realize until it was time to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to learn that, so now I can do that, which brought me to, the higher ed position. And everything that I'd done along the way prepared me to do what I started, which was professional development there. And then I was offered the position to direct. And that all, again, like I said, I was capable and able to do it because of all the skills that I picked up along the way, helping other people.
Helping other people, right.
And so now for me, it's important because one of the things that I explain to people, I miss being in front of my 30 kids or in secondary, my 115 kids. I miss that. But then I realized when I am able to impact the lives of 40 to 50 new interns every year, that multiplies that 30 or 150 times 50.
Yes.
And so whatever it is I can impart to each one of 50, then that's multiplied. And so that's why I believe in bringing someone along with me. I encourage, when we look in some of our schools, the highest need schools, we have a population of students that look at their teachers and their teachers don't look much like them.
Yes.
And that's not to say they don't have teachers that are loving and prepared and care about them. That's not to say that. It's not to take away from those teachers at all. But there's something to be said when you are preparing your own vision, when you're trying to write your own vision as a child. It is impacted by what you see before you.
So the examples you see
exactly.
You see. And we had someone we had an interview with Vita Shell, who's an artist from here, and that's one of the things that he talked about was he wanted to make sure that he was able to capture images of people that look like him.
Yes.
They look like if you're African American.
Right.
And because of that representation,
yes.
being able to say, you know what, I look like him, and if he can make it, if he can write his vision, if he can get a TV show, if he can write a book, if he can do whatever, then I know that I can do it.
Exactly.
And I think it's important that what you're doing is getting the right kind of people in place to impact those kind of lives. And so I just want to continue to commend you, applaud you for all the things you're doing in education. And believe it or not, like you say, you're impacting more people than you think in the position that you're in. So like I said, I want to thank you for coming on with us. I want to thank you for, because you're busy, you're just getting back in town, very busy. Matter of fact, she could have probably been play two, staying busy because she's always busy, but she's busy doing productive things.
Thank you.
And so, Tiffany, I want to thank you for coming along with us.
Appreciate
it. That wraps up this edition of Playmakers. Once again, if you have any concerns, questions about the TEACH project, the TEACH program, the information is on the screen, or you can even reach out to us at justruntheplay.com. I'm Coach DJ Davis. We want to thank you for joining us today.